Yes people, what's good and welcome back to the channel. So today guys, I'm just going to demonstrate to you how easy it is to create a dosing container using an empty VOSS bottle. Before we get started guys, there are a few things that you will need. Firstly is first that you need a VOSS water bottle. Now this is from my old system. I have used this before. I have constructed one using this bottle and it worked a treat. So you can see there's still some water in there. I want to break it down slow time so you guys can see how easy it is to make a dosing container using one of these bad boys. Now you don't have to use a VOSS water bottle. You can use other containers, other food grade containers that are safe for holding products for marine life. So things like cereal containers, the vertical cereal containers, you can use the same process with a bit of tweaking to use as a dosing vessel for your marine aquarium. Next thing you would need a step cone drill bit, and all this is a way to drill through the top lid of the VOSS bottle. As you can see, I've marked where the 18mm piece is, or number is here on here, if you can see that properly. So that will tell me how deep this drill bit needs to go into the lid to allow the bulkhead to be inserted. Now we have a bulkhead. This bulkhead comes in about 6 different pieces if I remember rightly, but the most important pieces that you need to remember is the nut to screw it on or fasten it into the lid itself, and the top part, or the male part of the bulkhead that gets inserted into the lid of your dosing container. Now when you are drilling using your stepped cone drill bit, you need to ensure that the depth or the circumference of the hole you drill facilitates or allow the bottom or the middle bit of the bulkhead to be inserted without any issues. Anything too wider in diameter or circumference will not fit correctly. Anything too small, obviously it won't go in. Next thing you guys will need is some acrylic tubing. Now I found this online, I believe it was eBay, and I think it's 2mm acrylic tubing that you need for sucking up whatever solution you've put into your dosing vessel. So this is a very important bit to have, and I think you don't have to use it, but it just makes your bottle look that much nicer. Now there's a caveat about this, and I'll tell you about it later on using no pox. So just keep watching this video and I'll explain to you what the caveat is when using no pox or alcohol based solutions with this acrylic tubing. Now the next thing you guys are going to need is some silicone tubing. Now any silicone tubing will do. Just ensure that the silicone tubing that you are getting can fit over the acrylic rod that you are using. Now it all depends how far your dosing container is from your system. It all depends on your setup and how you are going to run it. So this piece is only for demonstration purposes only. You can have a shorter piece and add some airline. The reason I say that is because that's what I have done for my system, and I have been using airline. But if you check out my pico video about dosing all for Reef on my last post, which is last week Friday, you guys can see how this has been implemented with a non-return valve and a bit of airline to start dosing into my pico. But for this purposes, we're just going to use some silicone tube to demonstrate how we can connect the acrylic rod, going through the bulkhead and start dosing. The last thing you would need is a non-return valve. Now this is not a must. You don't have to have this on here. I have used it on all my VOSS bottle dosing containers. The reason I use this is just for my peace of mind, ensuring that there's no air bubbles being put in through the lines, and it has worked. I haven't had any issues with it because it's a glass bottle. It maintains pressure quite well. No lids have popped off, and there's no incident with any dosing or anything. So it's not a must. You can have it. I recommend you put it on. Just ensure that the direction you do place it on is the right way to allow pressure to be released from your bottle as the dosing solution gets sucked or drawn through, which is not that much anyway. So as you can see guys, I've marked off the 18mm line on the drill bit. So as the drill bit spins and gets going through the lid itself, I know exactly where to stop to ensure that I have the perfect circumference to allow my bulkhead to fit into my lid. Okay, so after you've used your drill bit marked off correctly, it should tell you the exact depth you need to drill in. So there you go. So as you can see, correct depth, and you will be left with a hole resembling this. Now remember, I spoke to you guys about the non-return valve that can be actually inserted here as well, but you don't need the non-return valve. You can literally just have the hole so that, you know, pressure is maintained. The only thing I find with this is that you have the potential for evaporation, so that's why I wanted to use a non-return valve, just to ensure there's no evaporation, and you know, the vessel was working as efficiently as it could possibly work. Okay, so just ensure that you remove the blue tabs for the bulkhead itself. Now there's a link in the description below with where I purchased the bulkheads from and the other bits. The VOSS water bottle you can find out from, I believe, Waitrose, or you can just order it online, and then you can move forward creating your dosing container. So this is what you need, and this is what it should look like. Yep, what it should look like, so we can move forward with inserting that into the lid for the dosing container. So as you can see, the hole is just right to allow the male part of the bulkhead to be inserted into the lid of the dosing container, and just use a pliers or some sort of tool to help fasten the bottom. Once it's fastened, you should see something like this, and don't get too tied up on adding the non-return valve at this point. That's the last thing we'll be doing. So this is what you should see, and this is what it should look like. Yeah, so just the tabs here, and we'll go to the next step. Okay, so the next thing you do, you ensure that you feed your silicone tube all the way through. Now this will take some finessing to do, because the end tends to get caught on the barb or the splayed fitting for this this bit here. So just take your time and feed it through, and you want to connect this to your acrylic rod. Now a little top tip, guys, if you are going to use acrylic rod for this this application, what you can do is you can use the silicone tubing, use some hot water, put your silicone tubing in there for about maybe 20 seconds or even 15 seconds, allow it to get really soft, and then insert the acrylic tubing. Now that you've married the acrylic tube and the silicone tubing, what you do, you just pull gently, and you would find that the silicone tube and the acrylic rod will slip into the collar gently, and it will be nice and firm in there. So now I re-inserted attached the blue clips, so you can see that they are nice and secure, holding this thing in place. So then, now for the non-return valve. So non-return valve, you can drill your hole just tight enough so you can just slip in, or if it doesn't slip in, if it's too loose, you can use some silicone or some super glue. This coral super glue, put on there so it's nice and snug. Just ensure that the direction of the non-return valve allows pressure to escape if pressure builds up within your dosing container. So there you have it, guys, a simple hack or simple solution for dosing vessels. So you don't really have to buy anything, you can literally make this at home with some tools. Now this is an old one that I used to use, so you can see you've got your bulkhead at the top with your silicone tube coming out there going to your doser itself. You have a non-return valve on here to maintain pressure. This is like my inputs on it. You don't have to do this, you can literally just have a hole, and this is what it looks like from underneath. Yeah, so a nice little container you can use, and you can replicate this for your calcium, magnesium, alkalinity. Now, there's a caveat to this. If you are going to use acrylic tubing, you need to be aware that if you are dosing things like Nopox or things that are alcohol based, you will find some cracking occurring in the acrylic, so just be aware of that. So if you are dosing Nopox, this can affect the tubing. If that's the case, you can just use the silicone itself and place it in the in your vessel. Yeah, okay, brilliant, guys. So if there's any questions, any comments, any recommendations how we can improve this, I just hope this was informative for you guys and anyone starting off in this hobby, for a cheap way to, an exciting, and I think is a very fun way to create bits of equipment for your reef. Yeah, so any questions, any comments, please leave below, guys. This is Narayan for HC Aquatics Reefing. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I'll see you next time.